Sacrifice in the service of women, an ideal that is ingrained in the romantic imagination, is not just a duty for the men, it's a source of pride. And the more they sacrifice, the more they feel entitled to feel proud of themselves. And I would argue that this is because these men suffer from a kind of Stockholm syndrome. They have not been able to escape this captive ideology, so they have imbued it with positive, even holy, i.e. divine wind attributes. Not only that, but for every man who believes that his self-sacrifice in the service of women is a source of pride, there is another man who is currently despairing because he has no woman to whom to offer his life as sacrifice. That's how deep this programming is. There are men right now, who are depressed, hopeless, and self-loathing because they do not yet have a beneficiary for his impulse to self-sacrifice. They are soldiers in want of a war. And I don't think we can say the same of the opposite sex.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This time for Nopickspodcast.
What up, fam? Joe, Nopickspodcast.
All right, Joe. So listen, there's a lot to unpack on this. Really a lot, right? So, all right. So this is the question I'm gonna ask you: Is sacrifice in the service of a woman a source of pride for men? If you really sit back and think about it, like,
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the short answer, yes. It's funny because this is something that I've been reflecting on for like the past few years.
Right.
Just because it's come up in topics of conversation with women and other men as well. But yes, I do believe that men do believe in self-sacrificing for, I'm going to say for their families, but in this conversation, he said we can branch out to families, right? But for now, we're sticking to women, right? But men do. Yes. Short answer, yes. So that's going to be my short answer. What do you say first, and then we'll unpack it. But yeah, I'm going to say yes, absolutely.
No, I agree with you. I've, like you just mentioned, I've been dealing with this myself, thinking about it for a while now. I've always wondered, I guess, well, you know what? I guess we'll get into that later, but yes, short answer. Yes. 100% agree with you. And we do we go hard on this shit. Like it's like ingrained in our fucking heads that you know, we got to crash out for women. No, it really is, bro. Like you supposed to jump in front of the bullet, right? You supposed to jump in front of the car. You supposed to work 80 hours a week, right? You and I did a podcast maybe a little over a year ago, and the chick was like, yo, if your husband or if your man work 80 hours a week and then he don't come to the market with you and do X, Y, and Z, then like you got a lazy man.
You got a lazy man.
You're supposed to literally die at work in order to, and give yourself up to her so she can live a better life, so she can be a little bit more comfortable, so her life expectancy could be longer. You're supposed to, like, that's what makes us men, right? Which is crazy how our minds work. Right. Like it's like this is generational. Like we talk about generational curses, thinking this is we like this is generational brainwashing. Where it's like what Bo was saying was true. Like and if he mentioned, like, if you don't have it, you're depressed. You're like, damn, I don't got nobody to give my life to.
You feel like you don't have purpose, right? Like you're kind of lost. Like, how do you fill that void when you've been taught, like, I'm going to sacrifice myself mentally and physically for my wife or for my family? Like when you don't have that, you kind of feel like aimless. You know what I mean? Like what not everybody, I'm just saying some of our men, especially our younger men, what am I doing this for? Yeah. You know? No, you're right.
Let me ask you this. So he mentioned this too. He said, men who think like this suffer from a kind of Stockholm syndrome.
See that? See that one was interesting, right? Because I feel like this mentality that men are going to sacrifice themselves. See, as someone, I'm biased, right? I've wanted to be a father and be a husband since I've been in high school. I'll tell everybody that. Like, I didn't rush it because I'm like, I'm not ready for it. Right. But in my mind, I was like, I know I want to be a dad. I know I want to be a husband. I'm not ready for one yet. So let me just grind and stack my bread up and get ready for that, right? So I've always wanted to do that. And there are women who have told you, like, oh, why do you feel like you have to do all this? This is just the patriarchy. This is toxic masculinity. And I'm like, listen, some men don't like it, but I was like, but I'm okay with having that responsibility. I'm okay with being able to work and have enough money to provide for my family and retire my wife and make sure that, like, my family is good. Like, especially if I'm doing a job that I love, you know, which I'm aspiring. I'm doing that now. I finally have a career that I love, you know what I mean? So now I feel like I'm living my personal dream, but like someone like me, I'm like, I don't mind it but you know, so I'm biased, right? However, I do feel like the times have changed, and with that change, our mentality had to evolve, and it hasn't evolved. And that's the problem, that before, generally speaking, women used to be worth that sacrifice, but now we're like, we want to do those things, but the quality of women has diminished so much in Western society. And so now it's like we haven't evolved, and now we're like in this weird space right now. So So I don't know if I agree or disagree. I feel like I'm in a weird space. Do you think we're in Stockholm syndrome? No.
Yeah, listen. The reason I picked this specific topic for us to react to is because I know you pretty well at this point. It's like, listen, I know you will die for this shit. Like I know you pretty well, and I was wondering what you thought. If you'd be like, damn, like that's great. Because if you think about it, like it really like, well, so Stockholm syndrome is like, basically sympathizing with your captor,
Right.
Being like, you know what, like, listen, I get that, you kept me in the house in the basement, fed me fish heads, but you had to do it. You know what I mean? So I support this decision for you to keep me in the basement and feed me fish heads.
Right.
And that's kind of how I see a lot of men, right? Like, I think this is what kills me, right? This is what kills me. And really just think, because it's like, if you act, what makes you less of a man in society is if you ask, okay, I do all of this stuff for my family, my woman, right? What do I get in return?
Right.
The backlash is you're a bitch because you want something in return. You should
a real man wouldn't ask that.
So like Joe, really,
right.
We are literally expected to die and get nothing in return.
Right. No,
I
agree.
And when he mentioned at the end, he was like, "Is the other sex expected to do that? Absolutely not. They're expected. They're the ones that we die for." So it was like, yo, but like, if we really think about it, bro, this is some shit, bro. Like, this is like some psychological shit right here, because we're expected in society to do all these things, and it's like,
right.
if you ever ask, hey, what do I get in return? Just like when women say, you hear, when women with kids, right? So they say, I've heard women say on podcasts, like, okay, if a man ever asks me, how does your kids benefit me? And I said, man, I don't even want to talk to her. Like, you're just avoiding it. You can't answer the question. You don't have an answer for the question. So you're attacking the question or the person who answered the question.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it goes back to some of that thing where it's like times have changed, but men haven't evolved with those changes. Right. So I feel like now, like, think about it, in relationships, like so many relationships now, like our marriage rate is plummeting, right? But of the people who are married, you got dead bedrooms. You got men who are signing up to take care of a family and sacrifice their bodies and themselves and not getting any cheeks from their own wives, bro. You know what I mean? Like dead bedrooms. Like, who the hell signs up for monogamy as a man to not get cheeks when I could be out there getting cheeks from all these loose ass women? Because sex is so easy now. All I gotta do is swipe right and I can get in the short. You know what I mean? Like, but like now you have men who aren't getting physical intimacy. Men who are expected to sacrifice themselves and getting nothing in return, or the bare minimum. It's sad, bro. It truly is sad. I feel like men haven't evolved, and we're in this weird place. And like I said, the caliber of women, like women these days, aren't like the women back then. You know what I mean? And it's funny because remember we talked about like overcorrecting issues, and then when we try to correct things, we overcorrect and then we go too far. And that so now we feel like because we've tried to push women forward because of sexual repression, because of lack of economic opportunities, lack of job employment opportunities. We've given them all these. Now they're the highest ones being enrolled in college, getting degrees. Now they're making bread. Now they can get jobs. Now they know. Now they don't need us anymore. Now we've overcorrected to the point where like men are patriarchal, men are misogynistic, men are controlling. I'm not gonna be a slave like my mom or like my grandma. All this BS came out. So now you have this new type of women, but these men still want to be providers, still want to. And it's like, but there aren't. You know what I mean? Like we're in this weird place right now. We have to evolve.
And let me this last quote before you know what I mean. We can finish it up. I'm stop talking about him at this, bro. This guy says, this way of thinking is so ingrained in us that we put it on a divine level. Like you don't even listen. You're willing to sacrifice yourself, and you don't give a fuck what you get in return, because it's like it's such an honor. You know what I mean? It's like a, you know what I mean? It's like manna from heaven. You know what I mean? Like you're just so willing to just give up everything, including your life, just because you put what my man from 40-year-old verse say, you put the pussy on a pedestal. Right? You know what you call it, man? You put the pussy on a pedestal. Right. But bro, like you think really, well, we really do like in our heads now. So me, like, listen, I did this on a pod when I was doing it by myself. You was busy. I did one joke by myself. It was a dude talking about, what men sacrifice and what women aren't willing to sacrifice. And I asked a question on the pod at that time. I was like, what the hell do men get? Like, what do we get for this sacrifice? And the answer is nothing.
Now I'd say not nothing or not very much. I'm with you, bro. And then there's like, it's weird, right? Because now that we, like I said, we've overcorrected things to the point where like there's so much chaos now, right? Because a man, he stacks up his bread and he's making these moves and these sacrifices, thinking my family's going to be straight. A shorty starts making money, and now she's thinking, I got to get a man who makes just as much or more.
Yeah.
Or your money is my money, and is our money, you know, and my money is my money.
Facts.
So they start making bread, but they don't want any of the responsibility that comes with that. Now they look down at men who don't make as much with condescension. Now he ain't ish. Now you ain't on her level. But men, we don't think the same way. Everything we do is for the benefit of our family and for our wives. So yeah, bro, we've romanticized it. As far as like putting it on a pedestal, we've certainly romanticized. And remember, back then it was different. Back then we'd go and fight wars, and shorties would be home and they'd be widows. You know, we were out fighting wars. That's why women started getting these jobs, these employment opportunities, because men were going away from World War I, World War II, and the shorties were at home with no man or widows. They needed people to work the warehouses, to build weapons, to build like supplies, work the factories. And so women were given these opportunities because men were fighting these wars. Some of them were dying, weren't coming back, right? So we needed people to fill these factories. No, bro, times have changed, bro. It's the sacrifice. You're not getting as much as you used to before. And now it's sad because I'm one of those people who romanticize it. I ain't gonna cap, bro. I did. You know what I mean? Like,
I picked this topic. I know.
No, I know, bro. I'm one of those, bro, and I still stand on it. I still want to do that, and that's why I've always told women when we speak generally to women, I'm like, listen, men want to be, in my opinion, men want to be that Prince Charming for you. Yeah. Men want to be that provider and that savior for you. Men want to be, they want to fulfill that role for you, if you let them. You know what I mean? You have to allow them to fulfill that role and to give you that. But like, some women just don't want it. Some women just feel like, I don't need no man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? That energy that we have now, and it's just changed. It's changed.
That's why. That's why I don't really see it that way. I'm like, okay, you get this, now what do I get? Like, because now for me it's like it's transactional unless you prove otherwise. Unless it's like a different type of vibe, right? But yeah, listen. I love this topic. Bull, listen, I'm about to follow Bull on TikTok and all his stuff because he be really spitting some stuff.
He be going in. I like his content. He be going in.
I don't even know his damn name. We'll just call him, I
don't know, but he's nice though. He got a YouTube channel. He's nice.
No,
definitely follow Bull.
I gotta follow him. Listen, follow us. Fuck that. Don't fuck him. All right, listen. Let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
Until next time.